Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas from compelling sources. Today, we're getting into a really fascinating take from the 555 podcast that explores why intimacy can sometimes just vanish. You know, it's something a lot of people go through, and it can be super frustrating. One minute, things are great, and the next, your sex life just hits a wall. And you're left scratching your head, trying to figure out what on earth happened. Okay, let's get right into it. The source material offers this really different idea. They're saying your lack of desire, it's probably not a physical problem. It's not because you're failing or not trying hard enough. Instead, it's actually an energetic defense mechanism. So, how does that work? Well, according to this framework, our capacity for intimacy is all tied to a hierarchy of energy centers in our bodies. You've probably heard them called chakras. And for this, two of them are absolutely crucial. Think of it like you've got two main players in this story. First, there's the root chakra. This is your foundation. It's all about feeling safe, secure, and stable. Then you've got the sacral chakra. This is where creativity, desire, and all that intimate energy live. But here is the critical part, the relationship between them. The source makes it really clear. The sacral chakra, the one with all the desire, can't just turn on whenever it wants. Nope. It can only activate after your foundation, the root chakra, feels completely secure. Safety has to come first, period. And this right here is the core of the whole issue. When your fundamental sense of safety gets rattled, your body doesn't just ignore it. It triggers a really powerful instinctual protective state. This state is called survival mode. It's like your body's emergency override switch. Your nervous system basically declares a red alert and starts shutting down everything that isn't absolutely essential for survival. And guess what gets labeled non-essential almost immediately? Yep, your libido. And we're not just talking about physical danger, like being chased by a bear. The podcast points out all these modern stressors that can block that root chakra and flip us into survival mode. Things like worrying about money, carrying old relationship trauma, or just feeling emotionally unsupported. This whole thing creates a fundamental conflict inside your own nervous system, and the source material just crystallizes it with one single powerful sentence. I mean, that just hits the nail on the head, right? Your body is literally programmed to prioritize survival above all else. So if it perceives a threat, and that can be emotional, not just physical, it simply cannot also be open to creation, vulnerability, and intimacy. The two states are like oil and water. And this is exactly why just trying harder almost never works. If your body is already in this protective lockdown mode, forcing intimacy or pressuring yourself for desire is completely counterproductive. You're fighting against your own nervous system's prime directive, which is to keep you safe. So the podcast suggests a total shift in focus. Stop looking at the lack of desire as the problem. That's just the symptom. The real problem is the lack of safety. So you stop trying to fix the symptom and you start addressing the root cause. So what does that actually look like? Well, the goal is no longer to create desire out of thin air. The goal is to create an environment of safety, to ground your nervous system, and then to simply allow desire to come back on its own, once your body gets the all-clear signal that it's finally safe to play again. And this leaves us with a final, really thought-provoking question from the source. After hearing all this, take a second to reflect. Which energy center do you think might be blocked for you right now? Is it your foundation of safety, or is it that energy of desire? It's a powerful thing to ask yourself.